Hello and welcome to the Geeky Brummy podcast. Joining me today, Mr. Ryan Parrish, as you can see, Miss Keith Bloomfield, welcome.
I can wave today.
And Miss Lee Price.
Hi,
welcome.
how's it going?
So, what have we been all up to since we last spoke? Lee?
So I spent the entire Easter bank holiday weekend just emptying out cupboards of just years of stuff that I've accumulated. Most of which was just empty boxes that I kept for some reason. So, I had a box which was for a fan, and I'm like, why have I kept this box? I don't need to...
You were a fan of the box, weren't you?
Clearly. Just sort of delving through a whole bunch of old stuff, which is a big part of why we've got things on the table.
Yes.
It was me cleaning out my space.
So, what has been put in front of me is a Domo blacklight vinyl figure, and it's
Yes.
I glow under blacklight.
Yeah.
When was the last time anybody had a blacklight in their house apart from the 1990s?
I mean, if you're in forensics, maybe.
Yeah. Also joining me is a Hulk, who's holding Mr. Poopy Butthole, and a vintage. You may have seen this before from the Geeky Brummy YouTube channel. We went to MCM a while ago with Mr. Graham Woods from Jaws 19. A vintage Diddy Men mug.
Has it got a brand on the bottom? That
No.
says, but it was made in England, so that's
I'm sure it says throw in bin. It's a Diddy Men for sale cottage house with the Diddy Men doing a dodgy housing transaction. What have you got in front of you, Keith?
I've got one of these giant head Hellboys, which is quite cute, but not quite as cute as Doreen, the unbeatable squirrel girl. She's lovely.
The only
And then
person to defeat Thanos in the comics.
Yes. And then some random dragon who I don't know if anybody knows what the dragon's for.
I believe it's from some sort of Namco game because that was the box that it came in.
Is it from something like ghouls and?
Yeah, something like Ghosts and Goblins or Dig Dug or something like that.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Or maybe like Terror Draga or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
seems like the kind of game that would have it.
If anybody knows, just email or drop a answer in the comments.
And what are you doing, Lee?
I have a Terminator half-scale endo skull still in its box, and also a dog.
I do love the dog. But the thing that gets me with the half-scale Terminator skull is now it's just I need a Terminator movie where they're all half size, just running around a little bit like Critters, just like miniature Terminators.
But to me, that doesn't look half scale.
No, it looks about
It's
a quarter scale, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I'm sure most people's heads are at least twice as big as that.
Yes.
At least.
Now, thank you for bringing in the random crap pile that has probably been taken
Yeah.
up. Room
There is more just
There
off
is
camera,
more.
which we haven't had time to. put
you
out.
you will see these things slowly expand in the set over the next coming months, I think.
Yes.
But
Yes.
thank you for that, Lee. Anything else exciting? Any games played?
Yeah, I've started playing through Ghostwire Tokyo, which I got as a birthday present. Which is basically, if you don't know, it's it's a new game from the developers of The Evil Within, Tango Gameworks, and it's there. You're basically in Tokyo after some weird mist has arrived and pulled everyone's spirits out of them. And basically you're in this sort of empty, abandoned Tokyo that's full of ghosts.
Do you have to do it before Luigi turns up with his vacuum cleaner?
You are the Luigi in this game. There's a lot of vacuuming up ghosts that does happen in the game, except instead of a vacuum, it's one of those Japanese paper spirit things that they have.
Oh, right.
And you use those to collect spirits, and then you have to send them through the phone line to someone. I don't know what that's about. It's very weird.
Do you make the Luigi noise as you suck up the vacuum? Wah, wah.
I mean, I do, but the game doesn't. It's an interesting game. It's very stylish, very much my kind of thing in terms of just weird, spooky Japanese stuff.
Well, sounds like fun.
My only complaint with it is that it is a little bit repetitive. And it's one of those things where I feel already at the point where I'm going to come away from this thinking it's a really good game, but maybe just shy of great. It's one of those.
It's
having
a
good
B
time.
plus, B plus.
Yeah.
Doesn't kind of fit the masterpiece of
Yeah.
it, but it's like, all right. Still avoiding Elden Ring.
I'm probably never going to play
Special
it.
hardcore gaming thing.
The thing with Elden Ring is that, like, with Dark Souls as well, is just the whole aesthetic of it just does not appeal to me.
Mm.
I do have Bloodborne though, and I do intend to actually finish that at some point. I've gotten as far as Father Gascoigne.
Yeah.
I've beaten him, and that's as far as I've gotten in Bloodborne. But that's much more appealing to me because it's like the whole Lovecraftian horror thing.
Father Gascoigne based on Paul Gascoigne,
No,
the
no,
eponymous Newcastle football player.
No, he is not, unfortunately.
I would love a Newcastle accent to turn up in an Elden Ring game.
I mean, from what I've heard, Elden Ring has Welsh.
Yeah.
Cool.
A lot of Welsh accents, surprisingly.
That joins the very small collection of games with Welsh accents, including Neo Nikuni.
Yeah, I think there's like 5 games I've played which have got, or 5 games I've encountered that have Welsh accents in them. Like you've mentioned Ni no Kuni, there's Elden Ring, Forza Horizon 4 and 5.
Mexico.
Well, there's the guy who's like owns the Drift Club in Forza Horizon 4. He's just arrived in Mexico in 5, so that's like. And then what was the other one? Oh, Xenoblade 2, and soon to be Xenoblade 3 as well. But the thing is, the localization for Xenoblade is done in the UK.
That does make sense.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Japanese people seem to have a fascination with the Welsh accent.
No,
It's a great accent.
if the voice acting was done
Very
in the
melodic.
UK, the chance of a Welsh accent gets a little bit higher.
Yeah. I always play a game now called Spot Mark Silk in any kind of TV show or video game. I play Mark Silk, who has been on the show previously. It's a local Solihull boy, I think. Not Birmingham, but close enough that we can count him as one of ours. So he turns up a lot in the theme park 2.2 series.
In 2 Point Hospital and 2 Point Campus.
Yeah.
And
a lot of TV adverts with his voice turning up at the moment in anticipation of 2 Point University.
mm-hmm.
Good fun. Awesome, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Keith, how about yourself? What have you been up to? Anything interesting?
Interesting. It's so very subjective. I've been catching up on a bunch of TV and movies. So I've just got up to Ant-Man and the Wasp in my Marvel rewatch. I had a big break after Black Panther. For some reason, I didn't get onto Infinity War. So I've done Infinity War and Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I've just got a couple more to get to Endgame, and then I can start the last few.
You can start phase 4.
Yeah, which I've somehow already watched out of order. So I kind of broke my.
Did you
my
watch
streak.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, of course I watched Spider-Man.
Of course
yeah.
you watched Spider-Man.
Of course I watched Spider-Man. So that's kind of good. And I caught up on the last few episodes of Peacemaker.
Nice.
Which I probably enjoyed far too much.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved the use of music, obviously from James Gunn. That's part of the whole thing. So I'm currently, because the playlist they've made for Peacemaker is only on Spotify, and I don't have Spotify, so I'm just reconstructing it in Apple Music.
I've heard it's quite thematically styled, similar to the way The Boys is, for that kind of like no holds barred kind of. Violence.
Yeah. It's not. It doesn't hold back from its gratuitous violence.
Because the Suicide Squad James Gunn version.
Yes.
God, so Warner Brothers, get a bloody clue and put stuff in naming order properly. It does my head in. So the Suicide Squad James Gunn version is not a polite movie.
No,
to phrase it that way.
But it's great fun. And,
it's brilliant fun.
Has Starro in it,
Yes.
which is great, kind of good. But I mean, obviously John Cena is quite cool in it. Plays the character brilliantly. The guy who plays the vigilante is also pretty cool. But Danielle Brooks, who most people have probably seen in Orange is the New Black, is spectacular. She's a great actress, and I want to see her in more stuff. She's really good. So that was TV. I started playing Lost in Random, which I quite like, the box trolley style of the game. That's kind of cool. I'm not very far through it yet. I'm very slow.
Yeah, I started playing that myself a while ago, but it's one of those things where I started playing it and then got distracted by other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got like a really cool like stop motion style to it.
It just looks really nice. I'm not quite sure how the gameplay will play out in the end, because I haven't really got to the kind of like random dice throwing bits that they kind of introduced at the beginning, so I haven't really got to that point yet.
I would love to see if there's anyone online complaining about the frame rate.
Well, the facial animation.
Just because, it's like, but this runs at like 12 frames a second. It's like, yeah, it's supposed to. It's meant to emulate stop motion.
And having deleted it after not playing it ever, I re-downloaded Call of Duty Warzone,
Why?
but that's because they advertised something that had got
Oh, it's the
Godzilla
Godzilla.
King
Oh.
Kong in it.
Any excuse
So
for Godzilla.
I kind of went, well, I'll download this. I've got absolutely no idea what I'm doing because apparently it's a battle royale style game where I'll obviously be shot before I even hit the ground after parachuting.
But do you get to
into
see
it.
Godzilla?
I'm hoping that I get to see Godzilla.
Do you get to fist bump him? Is that the
I don't
dream?
know.
that
I'm
you
hoping
get
I
to-
can call him in to kind of just like help me out. But I don't know how the whole Godzilla King Kong thing.
I'm
will
assuming
work.
it's like, does he replace the tactical nuke that you usually get in those games?
Well, I know, it's weird because one of the advertisements seemed to make out that you shoot them with like new weapons and stuff. But it's like I'll play and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, so I'm going to shoot the 90-foot tall lizard
Yeah.
with my pop gun.
So that looked pretty cool.
So how many games did you have to uninstall to install that?
But luckily, I've got a lot of space because I've mostly got like small independent games, so I didn't have to delete too much. But then I have, for some reason, I still have got the Avengers installed.
Why?
And I don't know. I played a bit of it. I don't think I've got as far as I did in the demo, which I played ages ago. But I've also got Guardians of the Galaxy, which I do need to finish off at some
I've
point.
heard that's much better than the Avengers, but still not like it's like a C+ kind of.
Yeah, it's okay. It's definitely more playable than the Avengers game, and is a bit more in keeping with the tone of the movies, even though it's still like third tier stunt people.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you'd spend that much if you're Squeenix buying the Marvel license and then ignoring the biggest entertainment franchise in the last 15 years. I know it's no interest to you, Lee, but if you're going to have a Marvel property
yeah,
and you spend
the
that
extra
much,
to get the likenesses. Yeah,
pay the couple of quid extra to get the MCU.
I've got a better idea of what Crystal Dynamics could have done. They could have spent that money making another Tomb Raider game instead.
I mean, they could have also just gone with the comic style.
Yeah,
I'd prefer the Tomb Raider.
Or even like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're not the studio for that, but
Yeah. You never know. Or Deus Ex.
yeah, that's it. Eidos
Yeah.
Montreal should have made a new Deus Ex, and Crystal Dynamics should have made a new Tomb Raider, and just stick to what they know.
Yeah. And actually make money
Yeah.
rather than go, oh no,
Yeah,
oh no.
Yeah.
I believe that like the only reason that Square Enix didn't like completely fold off the back of Avengers is because Final Fantasy XIV is so phenomenally popular.
Well, I think from what I've heard and from what I've seen on Reddit is everybody's leaving World of Warcraft because they hate it
Yeah.
and going to play Final Fantasy XIV
Yeah,
instead.
there's the point where they had to stop selling Final Fantasy XIV because the servers were so full. They were like, "Please stop playing our game."
Just have this image of a small Japanese ancient man coming out saying, "Please stop playing games."
So they just had to like suspend sales of it entirely for like 2 months because it was just like the servers cannot take all these new players.
See, Elon Musk could have spent his money buying more servers for Final
Don't
Fantasy
talk to me about that, man.
Instead, that
Just
would have
don't talk to me about that, man.
And I think the last thing I've done is spent far too much time researching bass guitars because I've become obsessed with buying a bass guitar. As I found
Can
it
you play bass guitar
Yeah.
for a start?
We'll find out when I get one.
What happened to your multi-melodical instrument box?
Yeah, but that's just an omnichord. So that's.
Do you use your omnichord?
I use it occasionally, and also then started to go down the rabbit hole of an instrument called Orba from a company called Artifon, which is kind of like a little handheld.
I've seen those. The Japanese
synthesizer MIDI
yes.
controller, which was quite cool. And then I kind of thought, well, I struggled with 6 strings on a guitar. Never really got to grips with 6. So I thought if I take 2 strings out, I might do better. So I think I'm gonna maybe invest in a bass guitar, and then we'll see.
So I own a standard guitar and dalliance with Rocksmith quite a long while ago, and then did what everybody else does and give up and then get back to it. It's a nice piece that lives in my loft.
Yeah, I'm more a rhythm person than anything else, so I think I'll do better with a bass guitar. But yeah, so I shall report.
All about that bass.
Yeah, there's every possibility that this bass guitar will arrive before the next episode goes out, so I shall fill people in.
Is Maddie aware, or is this her first notification?
No, it's cool. We're all cool with the whole extra instruments in the house.
Is Maddie going to be playing the bass guitar?
Probably not, because it might be a bit too big for her. I was looking at getting a short scale version, but the version of the guitar that I want
Yeah.
that doesn't do a short scale.
Because your partner is
option.
very musically inclined.
Oh yeah, she's got all the big instruments, auto harps, hurdy-gurdies, all the kind of things that you want literally in the house.
Isn't she in a band as well?
Accordions.
Do you want
Oh yeah, Bearwood Bandits. If anybody wants to check them out, they're on Facebook.
to Bandcamp?
No, I don't think they've got a thing. They've got a website which has got some of their musical things in, but mostly play around Bearwood, hence the name Bearwood Bandits. And it's like a bluegrass folk.
Yeah, they did a Mexican song a while ago. From
Well, some members were part of a mariachi band.
yes.
Yeah, so that was quite funny. But yeah, there's lots of them and hundreds of instruments on stage. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, they really do go check them out. It's really cool.
Yeah, Bearwood Bandits. It's all good stuff. And how about yourself, Ryan?
So I built a shed. It's not geeky at all, but basically I spent bank holiday
Not
weekend.
hover above the ground.
No.
Okay.
No. But talking of hovering over the ground, Stav started playing Burnout Paradise the Ultimate Box again. I'm sure I mentioned this last time, but mainly because I tried to install the old version of the game, not the remastered one, and all my DLCs disappeared. But even though the remastered one has all the DLC on it, EA, where's my content? Where's my content? I paid for this. It's like my Mass Effect games. I reboot my old Mass Effect games, and I've had to buy the Legendary Edition because all the DLC doesn't work anymore because you can't get to the servers.
Yeah, that's how they get you. They want you to buy the remasters.
Yeah. It seems to be a big thing recently where companies just like 3 years, it's like, yeah, we'll just turn the plug off. Very, very annoying. But other than Shed, watching Derry Girls,
Okay.
greatest comedy series. Taskmaster's back, which is always good fun. MasterChef's on, so that kind of takes up quite a significant chunk of the weekend with me just shouting at Greg Wallace via Twitter. Because apparently that's the forum now that we can abuse people as much as you want.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
as I found out by immediately abusing Elon Musk
Yes.
and saying, well, he has to leave this up now if he believes in freedom of speech.
Yes. But yeah, I'm thinking about the future of us having a Twitter account, which is really annoying because we've just nearly got to 3,000 followers. Follow us on Twitter, geekybrummy. We just nearly got to 3,000 followers, and I'm like, do we want to stay here? Do we want to like redirect people?
It'll be fine. Like everything else is owned by immoral billionaires.
Yeah,
so
it's either this or Truth or whatever
Yes.
the Trump version's called.
If
which
the-
he hasn't got anybody on.
Well, if the orange Cheeto returns, I think that is a signal for abandoning ship.
I remember I joined another social media thing that began with a V, I think.
Yes.
And I get occasional notifications from
Yeah.
that, but I don't know if that's something to move to. But you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
guess we just got to pivot to TikTok.
Yeah. I saw
Get those dance routines ready,
I
guys.
saw an SNL sketch recently that parodied.
Just
Parodied.
Like with sword fighting.
with parried TikTok, and I was like, no, my brain cannot handle this. There's just no way I'm going to be able
My
to do it.
attention span has been ruined enough by social media to dumb it down to 3-minute videos. It's like every YouTube videos is more than 9 minutes now. Like I really have to concentrate.
I'm sorry.
It's like channels like Technology Connections, great channel by the way, go check them out. But it's kind of like he does like 45-minute magnum opuses on like stuff like heat pumps. Which sounds like the dullest thing in the world, but it's the most absorbing 45 minutes that you're watching. It's like a basically mini documentary.
There's a channel I'm subscribed to that just uploaded a 5-hour Dark Souls essay, so you know there's
Yeah.
that. I have not
Nice.
watched that because I'm like I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
going to be able to get through this.
Yeah. If I can remember you any Technology Connection video, there is a really good one, which is why the colour brown doesn't exist.
Right. Okay.
Xbox didn't know this when they first launched.
Colour brown does not
Okay.
exist. It's
Okay.
just very dark orange.
Okay.
That's pretty much the
Dark
entire
orange.
village. Video. Entire video, but it's worth watching to hear his
Okay.
explanation of it.
You're going to hate a video that I'm working on because like I have no idea how long it's going to be, but it's probably going to be quite long.
Chapter the first. Is it going to be as long as a Queen Brian May guitar solo?
Maybe.
That's just an album, pretty much. Cool. All right, coming up on today's show, I have a surprise for the gentleman. Well, a surprise for the gentleman, and it's a long-awaited return of weird food. So I have 2 weird foods for our gents to try,
Keith's going to have a great time.
and we're going to rank which is our favourite out of the 2 of them. plus regular stuff. But we're back again shortly. Gentlemen, in my hands, I have a gaming device for you.
Okay. I don't like where that came from. Okay.
Well, this is incredibly small.
This is in the box.
Yep.
And this is tiny. I mean, literally oops.
That's the keyring. Don't worry, that's not working.
so it's very small. It's very tiny. So this is a keyring.
Yep.
That's looks like a little printed circuit board.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool. I don't know. Are we opening the boxes?
We can open the boxes. They should be charged.
Oh my goodness me! The fact that it's almost as big. It's as big as the keyring. So I've got. Now I understand colours.
So I asked the guys off air to give me a colour choice.
Yeah.
So if I don't know what it was this, then clear would have been a good option. That's kind of cool. Right.
So as you can tell on the bottom, there is a micro USB port.
Yep.
Which means it does take power.
Okay.
And if you notice on the top,
there seems to be
there's a
on
power
switch.
there
thing.
seems to be a little on switch. So do you want to switch on your little devices?
Okay.
Right, while you switch on and play with your little devices, I will explain what it is. So these are what is known as perfect scale for these little figurines. These are what is known as thummies by a company called Tiny Circuits. So Tiny Circuits launched these on Kickstarter a while ago. And it was a successful Kickstarter, as you can probably tell as you've got them in your hands. But it's a company that specialises in making very small electronics for makers and hobbyists. So this is what is known as a thumbie, and it is based, well, it is an homage to a classic console that you might have had growing up as a child, which is the Game Boy in style and makeup. But the technical specs inside it is based on a Raspberry Pi Pico RP2040 processor. It has 2 megabytes of total memory storage. There is a micro USB support for planning and for programming and multiplayer, and you can load up new games for it. It has a 72 by 40 monochrome OLED display, a little speaker inside, 6 tactile buttons with a 4-way D-pad and 2 action buttons, and 40 milliamp hour battery, which gives you 2 hours of gaming power. And its dimensions are 30 millimeters by 18 millimeters by 8.5 millimeters. And it runs on a program called MicroPython, which is a fork of Python, and you can use that or Arduino code editor to create your own games. And it has multiplayer support. There's a multiplayer micro USB cable to micro USB cable where you can play multiplayer games. So I think I've lost Keith and Lee here.
It's very small.
Yeah.
That's very definitely.
Yes. But what do you think? First impressions?
Well, it's very hard to play.
Right, so basically
Quite
it's
massive
roughly
thing.
the same size as the D-pad on an actual Game Boy. And there is multiple games already loaded in. So the games, we shall go through and what we have here. We have Annelid. We have Saw Run, which looks like a browser set in offline gameplay mode. We have Space Debris. I will give you a clue on that one is. Tennis, Thumbgeon, and Tiny Blocks, which is kind of a Tetris.
I'm playing right now,
Yeah.
which is just impossible
Yeah.
to
Yes.
even see what the shape of the blocks are.
Right, so the good news is there is an application called Thummy, which you can go and download from their website, which is thummy.us, which you can then go and download and then play on a big actual screen. But it's a device that's encouraged to design to go and build your own games and program, and it's an introduction basically. Programming language is very easy. I've had a quick play in it. Design's great, and yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun little device for you people to have and keep.
My eyesight's already terrible. This is going to actually kill me completely.
But the whole point is it's designed to go on a keychain, and then you can have the world's smallest gaming console with you at all times. So if you do get bored in the doctor's waiting room on the bus, as you frequently are, Keith, you can pop your Thummy on and then play that, and then watch as people marvel as you play the world's tiniest thing out of your pocket.
I'm failing terribly at the
makers
not
of,
Tetris.
the makers of this are very aware that people have phones and you can play games on them, right?
Yeah, but this is a dedicated gaming device. It's the whole point is being a retro kind of console-y fun.
So I'm curious as to hear what the speaker sounds like.
So there is a piezo speaker in it.
I can't really hear anything.
I
at the
haven't
moment,
really heard anything out of it yet, so I don't know if that's been enabled or
whether the games are designed to do that. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cute. I kind of like the kind of whole, miniature Game Boy type thing because that. I was thinking about this the other day about how the design of the Game Boy hasn't really been bettered in terms of the ergonomics of it, because most consoles now are like big, wide.
So if you compare this to something like the Steam Deck, which is pretty much the ultimate in handheld gaming devices currently, that or the Aya Neo, which is probably 3 times the price. But the Steam Deck still hasn't come to the UK, so I think it's due end of Q2 was the last time I checked. But so Americans seem to be having good fun with it at the moment. But I just thought I really enjoyed the concept of it, which is why I backed it on the Kickstarter, which was I just think it's a really fun little novelty gift.
It's not the only quirky, weird little handheld that's on the way.
No, there's the one with the hand crank.
This is the one I'm talking about.
The Playdate.
The Playdate.
That looked quite interesting. That one.
Yeah, which also is when you were mentioning about them encouraging you to develop your own games for it.
Yeah.
The Playdate does have a lot of that built into it.
Yeah,
they've got their own software, which I think is free to access. Maybe. I think they said they want to make it as accessible as possible, but
yeah, and it's again a very similar concept. It looks significantly like pretty much the ultimate console, which is the Game Boy, and it has a monochrome screen.
Yeah,
and the only difference is it has a giant handle on the side of it,
a big crank on the side,
which
of it.
is part of the way you play it, isn't it? Is by the actual tuning. So I kind of like the idea of that.
Yeah. The difference is
control.
This uses MicroPython, which is basically just Python 3. So this is probably the most open programming language, I think, and it's probably the most easily accessible one to pick up. So it's more of a kind of unboxing and play that we have here.
I'm waiting for the inevitable add-on, which is a little kind of clip with a magnifying glass on, so I can see the screen a bit better.
I mean, it's for me. So I bought myself the special edition, which comes in what you might recognise.
A Game Boy cart.
A Game Boy cartridge card case. And it is a special edition. But I just think it's a really nice little extra novelty. And, So, again, first impressions. We'll have to ask Matt and Shanice what their impressions are next time we catch up with them. But
there seems to be a kind of a Zelda-esque game I've just stumbled on into here, which... because I cannot see what is going on the screen, it seems like it's going to be impossible to play.
Yeah, I was going to say, I found Pong, and that's a bit more manageable.
Yeah, I would say the Saw Run is probably the easiest one.
You just got to jump over hedges.
Yeah, it's basically just a certain dinosaur runny game that's built into a certain browser.
Okay, I see. This is something interesting here.
Yes.
It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. Lee does seem to be making noise.
Yes.
I could hear some noises then.
Might be which version you have, or it might just need a charge to give the sound.
Yeah.
It has got a piezo speaker inside it, so it should make little bleepy blubs.
That's kind of cool. I do like the little.
Well, the keyring is, if you notice,
cool.
it is the circuit board.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much what the internals are like, excluding the battery. So if I pull out the clear version,
you can see it on the inside. It's a really nice package.
Yes, and it's really nice done. And
the clear ones are very nice, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you do want to learn to code in it, as I said, it's MicroPython, so really easy to pick up. What I'll do is I'll put the link to it in the description. And there you go. Go have fun, play, enjoy. If it's something that takes your interest, I would recommend it.
It's just kind of cool, just just the way it looks. Really, it's very nice.
I mean, to me, if you didn't know it was an actual switch-on plug-and-play device, it looks just like pretty much a unlicensed keyring.
Yeah,
especially Lee's version, which is pretty much original stock.
Yeah,
good, great colour look.
Well, the thing is, like, this would actually fit with basically everything else I've got on my keyring because it's gaming stuff. So
I suppose to sum up, would you say it's a novelty, or would you say it's something that might take your interest and play for a little while?
Kind of halfway between. I think the biggest problem of it, obviously, you can see the scale. I mean, it's as big as Dory, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what that is.
So,
sorry, I found Snake.
I think I'd struggle to play for long periods.
Yeah.
Purely because of the screen size.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think if I'd got like 5 minutes and I hadn't got my phone to hand, which is sometimes the case,
Yeah.
and, you might have a little play and stuff. It'd be kind of cool. It's kind of. I think it's quite cool.
Do you think it'd be better for tinier hands?
Yeah, definitely, because that's my biggest issue with it. Is just I'm pressing like the D-pad and it's just pressing the wrong
Yeah.
button.
I mean, we've all got like bare paws here.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, I think if you're the size of a chipmunk, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's designed to get kids into programming. That's the whole point of it.
I think the idea of being able to program your own games and see on the device would be
Yeah.
kind of cool. You could make your own little dungeon crawler or whatever it is. See if some bright spark out there can get a version of Doom on it.
Oh, there will be a
there
version.
will
of
be a
that.
version of Doom on it.
That would be kind of cool.
I mean,
we could kind of get
Yeah.
behind that.
To be honest, I really like it because, again, it's a Raspberry Pi inside.
Yeah.
So I really like the inspiration behind how to do something this small with the Raspberry Pi inside it.
Yep.
Yeah.
'Cause we've all seen many Raspberry Pi projects, and this is probably one of the funner ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
Two that I've seen.
Yeah, it's nice though.
Yep.
Just the whole package is
Yes.
quite nice.
What would you say? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Oh yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Cool. Right, so as I said, put the links in the description and anything there, go and pick it up happily.
And now it's time for the pull list. First up, we have last week's comic of the week, Aerosmith, Behind Enemy Lines issue 4 from Image Comics, written by Kurt Busiek with art by Carlos Pacheco. And it's hard to believe it's been 19 years since the first miniseries was published. So much has changed in comics over the last 2 decades. But one thing that hasn't changed is the quality of Busiek's writing. This new series has picked up where everything left off, and it's done so in a way that has introduced new readers to the world of Aerosmith with style and ease. This story of alternative history is full of pulp delights and incredible art. Next we have the current comic of the week, which is Godzilla vs. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 2 from IDW Publishing and Boom Studios, written by Cullen Bunn with art by Freddie Williams II. And you already knew this was going to be my comic of the week, right? Basically, the first issue was an absolute blast. The story was a perfect blend of both franchises, rewarding those with knowledge of the characters, but also accessible to new readers. The biggest plus point for the book, though, is Freddie Williams' art. It's nothing short of phenomenal, and I love every page. If you're a fan of either series, be sure to pick this up. Next, we have Step by Bloody Step issue 3 from Image Comics, written by Simon Spurrier with art by Mateus Bergara. This series has already exceeded my expectations. Spurrier and co. have conjured up a story that is both mysterious and breathtaking. This is one book that everyone should experience. Next, from Marvel, we have Knights of X issue 1, written by Tini Howard with art by Bob Quinn. I kind of like the Excalibur series, so I'm intrigued to see where Tini takes these characters next. I've absolutely no idea what's going to happen within these pages, but I do hope that Brian Braddock will play a part somehow. Having received the fantastic Captain Britain omnibus this week, I know there's plenty to be done with the Captain Britain Corps and Otherworld. Then we have Silver Surfer Rebirth number 4, written by Ron Mars with art by Ron Lim. Sorry, but I'm really enjoying this series. It's a grand cosmic nonsense and I'm totally here for it. The spectacular cover, which I saw a while back, is what sold me on the series to begin with. Not sure how this version of the Jack of Hearts fits in with the one appearing in She-Hulk and Fantastic Four, but I'm looking forward to finding out. And finally, we have Hulk Grand Design Madness issue 1, also from Marvel, illustrated and written by Jim Rugg. I'd picked up the previous issue, Monster, as a physical copy after featuring it on the radar a few weeks ago. Now this second issue, Madness, gets promoted to the main pull list. I was blown away by the first issue. Rugg is doing a grand job of guiding us through the rather complex history of the Jade Giant, looking back on some spectacular stories with some beautiful art and page designs. This book is definitely one for fans of old purple pants. And that's it for this week. Don't forget you can pick up all of your comics from Worlds Apart in Birmingham. And now back to the main show.
Long-term listeners know how much Keith hates this feature. It's been a long while since we did one of these, mainly because we had 2 years of a time where we were not allowed to be together in public properly. Not for any kind of bad reasons. I just realised how bad that sounded.
Yeah. Keith specifically got a restraining order against you because of weird.
Yeah.
Both of those Ghostbusters Twinkies.
Yes, but it is time for the return of our non-favourite feature for Keith. Are we ready?
As I'll ever be.
Alright. As people may know, Birmingham is a great multicultural city and has many fine food emporiums. So I popped down to Southside and there's a new lovely Oriental supermarket near Nostalgia and Comics.
Yeah.
And I went in to see what snacks they had. And I bought 2 snacks around there. And we have a choice of snacks here. So we have our first one is Calbee spicy pizza flavoured potato chips melty cheese edition.
Okay.
Made in Kowloon in Hong Kong and distributed by Calbee Mo Seng Pei in Singapore. So these are spicy pizza flavoured with sugar and sweetness crisps.
You know, that doesn't actually sound that bad.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
Oh, it sounds quite nice.
Yeah.
I just thought pizza flavour was we've had ketchup flavoured crisps.
Yeah.
We've had cheese flavoured crisps.
Yeah.
I like the serving suggestion is actually a slice of pizza to
With
put
it?
your
Yeah.
to have with your crisps to get that.
Sounds good.
But I just like the way it's got pizza potato written on top of it and an Italian flag for no reason.
I did wonder about the Italian flag.
Pizza.
I guess.
And the next choice
Oh no.
is called Striking Popping Candy, which is actually a UK thing. But I just liked it for the packet design, mainly because it's really a nice packet design, which is popping candy basically, distributed in the UK by Intellect Direct, product of China.
And it's still well within its best before
Yes.
date. So that's good.
And it says on the packaging. Oh yeah, it actually is. It's the day before my birthday next year. Presents. Yes. So apparently this contains 20 pouches of 1.5 grams of strawberry, artificially flavoured striking
I
popping
like the way
candy.
they're making sure you know it's artificially flavoured.
I mean, you can't tell from that. I mean, that is full of natural flavours and preservatives.
Yeah.
And the actual sticker over the back of it covers the entirety of the original label, which always gives me some disturbing suspicion of what is actual contents. And I just like it is Hong Kong striking popping candy.
Okay.
Not just striking popping candy, in very small letters. Hong Kong striking.
Hong Kong striking popping candy.
So what do we want to brave first?
I think because it's likely to wash away the taste of one. The crisps first.
The crisp first.
Yep, I agree.
Nice hiss.
Don't make that face or
Right.
sound when you do it.
Do you want to have a good sniff first before we jump in?
Wow.
Okay, yes.
So what does the odour scent remind us of?
Well, it's certainly not pizza.
It says melty cheese flavour.
I mean,
There is definitely a cheese component to that smell.
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like microwaved baked potato with cheese, possibly, and very old sneakers.
You know, it reminds me of plastic American cheese.
Ah,
It's that kind of terrible scent.
yeah.
All right. I like how you put this off as long as
Okay.
possible, Keith. And no small crisps. Get
No
yourself
small-
a good
okay,
one.
I'm gonna-
Go on. Full size. We'll go for it.
Get one so I don't touch the others. It's ridged, by the way.
For your pleasure.
You might be good for dipping.
It's not as spicy as it says on the packet.
No.
I'd say it tastes much better than it smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, the spice is coming through a little bit later on.
It's not as bad as in Halloween. Iceland sold a spicy pizza, Halloween spicy pizza. They had a whole range of these spicy pizza things, and I've never had something that was as spicy as this pizza. It was very hot. I couldn't eat it, and then for some reason it made the garlic bread I had with it worse than the pizza. And it was like, I mean, I forced myself to eat as much of it as I possibly could, but that was spicy.
Yeah, it's delayed spice.
So we all went back for a second one, which is usually a good sign.
Mm. It's interesting because it doesn't really taste like pizza. I'm not sure what it does taste
It's
like.
cheese and then just hot.
It's like a weird
So you get
hint
like
of cheese.
you get like 4 or 5 seconds of just cheese, and then that disappears, and then it's just like a peppery hot afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I'm getting the cheese, and I'm a big cheese fan. I do like cheese. This, to me, is mostly herby.
It's the suggestion of cheese. It's
That is a great label. That's what they should put on the front of the packet. The suggestion
With a
of malt.
suggestion of cheese.
But it says melty cheese as well. I
Yeah.
mean, what is the difference between regular cheese and melty cheese?
The consistency.
I'm assuming it's supposed to be a mozzarella kind of flavour.
probably.
Possibly. I'm gonna do one specially for all those ASMR fans in the audience. There you go. I've got a hollow head, so it's much better than. I mean, I kind of like them.
Yeah, they're not bad.
In a kind of weird way, they're really nice,
Yeah,
but not.
yeah.
I think if I had maybe a sour cream
Yeah.
and chive dip to go with them.
So again, if you go for the ingredients, it's got potato, vegetable oil, milk, sugar, cassava, spices, cheese, powder, salt, flavour enhancer, 1, 2, 3, 4 separate E numbers, flavouring,
Checks out.
soybean protein, tomato powder, yeast extract, anti-caking agent, another E number, acidity regulator, another E number, emulsifier, 2 E numbers, spice extractive, colour, another E number, sweetener, another E number. May also contain gluten, crustacean, egg, fish, peanut, soybean, milk, and nut products.
Crustacean.
Crustacean is on the packet.
I mean, I can't imagine like a Hong Kong market selling like crab flavored crisps.
Yeah.
It feels like a thing that could happen. I've seen stuff in Japan, so
Yeah, I think if I didn't look at the ingredients and just went by the flavour alone, I'd probably be okay. Now-
My test for crisps like this is, if you were served a buffet and those were in a dish, would you go back? Or would you choose like a ready salted or a salt and vinegar?
it would not be my first choice. I definitely think that because it's kind of odd.
Yeah.
They're not. It's not bad. It's just odd.
It's like Moorish, but in a weird way.
Yeah, in a way that it shouldn't be.
I think your brain just gets that confused to the stage of, why are we eating this?
Yeah,
Yeah. There is a slightly strange aftertaste.
I think it is that like because there's the suggestion of cheese and the delayed spice. I think it is tricking your brain into thinking it's nicer than it actually is.
Yeah. I do think it would be much more attractive if it did say suggestion of cheese flavour.
I would say this is not a pizza flavoured
No,
product from start to
it's
finish.
not remotely pizzery
No.
at all.
I'm assuming because they've tucked in the world's smallest amount of tomato flavouring in there. That's supposed to give you the suggestion of pizza.
Yeah. I do like the fact that the back says tear down. So whether you're supposed to kind of like open the packet up to share.
I think that's the proletariat key.
Oh yeah. Tear it all down.
I think that's an instruction to the people of Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do like it. It says for allergens, see ingredients in bold, which is basically just milk. and soybean.
Right. I think it's time to move on to our second choice.
Let's just pop that there so people can still see. Do you even know? Can you get into it?
Yeah, I was wondering how you opened that when you showed it off.
'Cause the one end looks very lethal.
I'm using my Hulk skills for this one. Right, these look like desiccant packages for a starter.
Oh, don't say that. Just-
These look like the spicy snacks that you get with electronic products that you're not supposed to
don't
eat.
eat them. Pick a card, any card. Okay.
I like that you're offering us the choice like it's not all the same thing.
There's no other information on the packet itself. There you go first.
So, I shall read the ingredients list. Sugar, 59.28%.
Okay, I'm glad there's not so much of it.
Corn syrup, lactose, acidity regulator, E number, flavouring,
We're already struggling to get into the packets.
acidity regulator, second E number, colour,
There is
third
a
E
tab.
number. The third E number, which
On
is
one
the
side.
colouring, which is E129, may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children.
Oh, I
So
see.
we're screwed, to be honest.
Okay. I found a way to get into it.
So what are we looking at?
I'm not going to even do this by halves. I'm just going to do the whole
You're just
lot
going to go
in one
whole
go.
in.
Yeah.
Shall we all do it on 3? It's going to be a great ASMR episode.
Okay.
On
I'm
3.
ready.
1, 2, 3. God, my mouth is just full of strawberry flavour. You know, not even the nice strawberry flavour. It tastes like pick a mix strawberry flavour, like the cheapest possible. Oh, and now I have the weird popping sensation in my mouth.
Yeah,
It's been many years since I've had popping candy.
Yeah, it's basically an explosion of the fake strawberry flavour.
Yeah.
That kind of goes away really quickly.
Mm-hmm. Keith, as a Black Country boy, you will know Kali
Yeah.
from growing up, which is
Yeah.
basically was flavoured sugar for children.
Great
I don't know
stuff.
if you had that. Did you,
Great
Lee?
stuff. Yep.
It was like the corner shop favourite for Black Country children growing up.
Yeah.
It just powdered sugar.
It was just knock-off sherbet, really.
What strawberry flavours? Excuse me, 1 second. This is where we pop the technical difficulties.
Have a pizza crisp.
I'll have some water. Oh, that was disgusting. So, out of 10 for popping candy.
I thought it was a reasonably good pop
Yeah.
for the size of the packet. So I think I'd get a 6 for pop. But
A 0 out of 10
yeah.
for flavour.
no flavour. I didn't pick up any flavour other than sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just give it a 1 because it's like it's there and you experience the popping, but like it's kind of just all right, fine, but where's the flavour?
Yeah.
It's like it's that suggestion of a flavour that's there.
The suggestion of strawberry.
Yeah, and not even the proper strawberry, just the fake.
Yeah. I think even a
Candy
strawberry
strawberry.
cowpole would taste better to be either that.
Mm.
The fact that I can still taste my pizza crisps now
Through
having
through
had that,
the
yeah.
harsh
Is a bit of a
artificial
telling,
flavour.
a bit of a telling thing.
Right, so between the two, what are our choice? I think it's pretty unanimous here.
Yeah, it's the pizza crisps.
Yeah.
Pizza, non-pizza crisps.
The suggestion of cheese crisps
Mm-hmm.
for the win on this one.
Yeah.
To be fair, both of them are significantly better than Ghostbusters Twinkies.
You're still hung up on that after so many years.
I'm pretty
so
sure that was
terrible.
before I joined
Yeah, I
as
think
well.
it
That's
was,
how
yeah.
long ago it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pizza crisps are they're bearable. That's kind of. I mean, I am going to have to go and my can of Iron Brew to wash the taste away in a second. But or the fizzy beverages.
Feel free to use the Digimon mocha for your fizzy beverage here.
I'm sure it's not full of dust. It's fine.
Ooh.
The suggestion of tax fraud, is it?
Yeah. Are you going to finish off the pizza crisps?
No. Are we going to save the popping candy and throw them at people?
I think we should. When we get Matt and Shanice back, they should also experience the popping candy.
Yeah,
because it's good until audible falling out.
It's just like pooing out terrible flavoured sweets.
I mean, I am wondering what 5 altogether would be like, but no, I'm not going to do it.
Go on. Go on. Nice finish.
Pour them into the cup and
nice finish off to the episode, Keith. Come on.
No, I'm not going to do it. Although I'm tempted.
Do you want the rest of the pizza crisps?
Not right now.
No.
It's a bit.
I can smell them from here.
Remember why we stopped doing this feature?
It's traumatising. Although they did make some nice noises.
Yeah,
so that was quite good.
Which one? The crisps?
The crisps and the popping candy.
It might make some more nice noises tomorrow. We'll find out.
Oh, don't. No, that's why I don't like this part of the show.
I'll see you again soon. Thank you for joining us on the Geeky Brummy podcast. This issue. Lee, where can we find you online?
You can find me on YouTube at Bob the Pet Ferret, where you can find me making various different video essays and reviews and that sort of thing. Got some exciting things on the way coming up, so keep an eye out. Make sure you're subscribed. You can also find me updating things with the channel on Twitter at Bob the Pet Ferret, and you can find my personal Twitter at The Cheap Ferret.
Awesome. Keith, where can we find you?
My Twitter.
Your Musker.
Those
Do you think he's going to rename it to Musker or something like that?
Pizza crisps and popping candy have gone to my head. My personal Twitter account is hardlook_hotel without the underscore on Instagram. But you can more regularly find me on a Wednesday on the Geeky Brummy Twitter feed website with the roundup of my picks of the week for the comic books that are out.
Awesome.
So check out those on a Wednesday.
Yes. And are you doing a new photography series on the Instagram yet, or is it just?
No, I haven't decided. I've been a bit uninspired with the Instagram recently. I have got a bunch of photographs that are just sitting on my phone, which I need to put to Instagram.
Yeah.
But if I can theme them, I shall launch into a new series. So So keep an eye on my Instagram.
Yeah.
Hard Look Hotel without the underscore.
And you can find me at Ryan Parrish for the personal Twitter, which again, just Wordle. Hurdle maybe. Framed.wtf is the new one.
Yeah, I found out there was another one as
Quordle.
well.
There's Duo Tridacordle.
The only ones I'm doing are the video game music ones.
There's a Sonic Hurdle.
Yes, that one, and the general video game one as well.
Is there a general video game one? I've not heard that one. I have to play that
I
one.
found another one that shows you a movie in a second, and you have to guess what the movie is. So it's not a frame, which is like framed. This is like they show the entire film in a second.
How does that work?
Well, it just shows you all the film. It's all just condensed.
Just boop.
Yeah, and then like you get an extra second each time you can't guess. That's quite good. I'm doing all right on
I'll
that.
have to send that one over.
Yeah.
And then Brummy gone on for MasterChef Bingo. We're at semi-final stage, so I play a game called MasterChef Bingo, which is I pick phrases like however, or I like it, or it's undercooked, or
Do you have custard?
fondant potato. I think is
What is a fondant potato? It's what they made those crisps out of, isn't it?
you get like jus.
Jus. Do they do foam?
Gel. Yep.
You see, I've never really understood the idea of foam on food. It's like, isn't that you just find that on the scum of the sea when you like too close to a sewage processing
or the
plant?
sink. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird stuff like that. So it's basically all just like the posh food terms, and like when you hear the Omen music when William Sitwell turns up for his latest review, that kind of thing. So doing that, and yep. at Geeky Brummy on Tuesdays when I remember. Tech Roundup will be returning very soon, so get your eye peeled for that. And you can find us all on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, geekybrummy.com, and on YouTube and all your podcasting services, which is probably where you're listening or watching this.
Yes, and we're very, very close to 3,000 subscribers on Twitter. So if there's somebody sitting next to you that doesn't subscribe already to our Twitter feed, even if you don't know them, just nudge them and tell them to like follow Geeky Brummy. They might look at you weirdly, especially if you're on a bus or a train.
Yeah.
But yeah, just encourage anybody.
And depending on when this is released, if you're free the first Saturday and Wednesday, don't forget to go and visit your local comic book store for Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah.
Such as the lovely chaps at Nostalgia and Comics in Birmingham.
7th of May is the date for your diaries, if we've not already got to that date.
Yeah.
Yeah, but pop down and they'll have a selection of free comics for you to try. Everything from the big two, Marvel, DC, through to some manga and independent books will be available. You'll probably have a limited choice because you don't pay for them, but the comic shops do. So don't go crazy. But if you are there and you do see something, go and buy something else while you're there as well.
And sometimes, if you're extremely lucky, pop in a couple of days afterwards. They might have some small stock left. But again, go buy something else, because go and support your local comic book store.
Yeah, and if you want to get dressed up as your favourite comic book character,
I meant just to get out of the house, Keith.
Just
put some clothes on before visiting your local comic.
Put some trousers on. I almost fell into the trap of saying it in the American style and saying, "Put your pants on."
Yeah,
but that's
I mean,
a whole different thing in this
some
country.
people, that is an instruction that they need right now after the last 2 years.
Yeah. Just make sure you are dressed appropriately for whatever comic book store or venue that you are going to for
Just
free comic
whenever
book.
you go out the house. Yeah.
Just in general. It applies for conventions as well. Make sure you're wearing clothing and deodorant.
You're wearing
Especially
clothing.
deodorant.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. But for now, bye everybody.
Bye.